Hi everyone, I'm sorry I'm not here today, but I wanted to show you how to do today's work. Today you're going to learn how to transform figures 180 degrees around the origin and 90 degrees around the origin. So here's the first page that we have. What's neat is to find the new location at any point after it's been rotated 180 degrees around the origin. All you have to do is change the signs of both the x and the y value. So here's your first example. 0.56 is rotated 180 degrees. If you look at the x, it actually becomes the opposite sign, and the y becomes the opposite sign. Wow, that's so easy. And if you think about it, if you're going 180 degrees, you're going in the opposite direction. Let's look at another point. Negative 3,5 rotated 180 degrees becomes positive 3, negative 5. So again, the rule is xy is translated with the x changing its sign and the y changing its sign. Another cool thing is if I have something in the first quadrant and it is rotated 180 degrees, it will end up in the opposite quadrant. Always kitty corner to each other. So with 180 degree rotation, clockwise or counterclockwise, the movement is not important. That doesn't mean, it doesn't matter if we put counterclockwise, because either way, the object will end up at the same point. Now, here's something that you need to remember. You need to make sure that each sign is the opposite when rotating 180 degrees. So if we look at this here, the point before rotation, x and y are the opposite after rotation. So if I have a negative x and a positive y, after rotation I'll have a positive x and a negative y. You're just, again, the rule is you are changing the sign of x and y when you do a 180 degree rotation. So let's do a couple of practices. So we're going to write what the new coordinates of each point will be after it's rotated 180 degrees around the origin. So again, one more time, please write this on your paper. The xy, if I'm rotating 180 degrees, the x becomes the opposite sign, the y becomes the opposite sign. So if x is 5 here, it will become negative 5 and positive 8. The signs have been changed. Going to do another one. So just changing the signs of x. So if it was a positive 8, it becomes a negative 8. And if it's a positive 9, it becomes a negative 9. Please stop the recording and do the rest of these on your own. And then restart the recording and check to see if you have the correct answers. Go ahead and check to see if you got the right answers here. Pause the recording so that you can keep the movie still. Okay, I hope that you did real well. If you messed up on something, try to see if you can get someone to help you. I want to bring your attention to this one right here. Again, we talked about if there's a 0, 0 can either be negative or positive, so that's why the 0 stayed the same. So we're now going to actually do some of these problems. Let's look at 11. We're going to rotate triangle ABC 180 degrees around the origin, and you're going to plot the new points and draw the new rectangle and record the rotated points below. So this is how you would do it. So let's look at the original triangle. Oh, so we're looking at A. So the first thing we should always do, and I think you're starting to get this, is to go ahead and write the points down. So that's 5, 5, that's A, and B is 7, 1, and C is 3, 1. Pause the video and put those down, please, on your paper. And when you're done, resume. Now that you have those points, remember that the rule for changing 180 degrees is that the x changes its sign and the y changes its sign. So if we're going to do that, if this is our original a, that now becomes -5, -5, and then our b, our new b, is -7 and -1, and then our new c will be a -3, -1. So after we do those points, we're going to go ahead and plot that 180-degree rotation. And so let's go ahead and do it. So the first one, A, is -5, -5, which would be right here. And then the B prime will be -7 and -1, which is right here. And then we'll plot C, which is -3, -1, right here. And you're going to connect your dots. Do not assume you think that you know exactly where this is going to be. And make sure that you put the correct letters in the correct order and put your prime notation. And one thing you're going to notice is, like, again, this actually, if you look at the C, it has been rotated 180 degrees on the other side. Take a moment to write that down. Go ahead and try number 12 on your own. Pause the video, try 12, and then resume the video to see if you've done it correctly. So when you do number 12, again, what we're going to do is we're going to find the points. And so the points for x is actually, the original point is -7 and +3. And the point for z is -3, +7. And then the point for y is actually equal to -7 and 7. And again, to create our rotated figure, we're going to take those points and we are going to change the sign. So the x is now a +7, the y is now a -7. The y is now a +3, and the 7 is a -7. And for the z value, you have a +7 and a -3. Then you should have plotted those points. So a +7, 7, -7 would now be down here. And we're going to put the x tick mark. And then a 3, -7 will be right here. And that's y. And then you will have your z, which is a 7, -3, which is right here. Connect your points. Make sure you have your tick marks. And you should notice it is now 180 degrees opposite of the original figure. Cool, huh? What you're going to do is you are going to finish this sheet, and then once you're finished, you are going to listen to the next part of this recording so that you can learn how to do a translation around a 90-degree translation around the origin.